right, y'all. Welcome back to Tennessee Tuesdays.
Episode number 25.
25. We haven't done tequila in a lot of shows.
Well, we could.
It's been a few
mean,
episodes.
you just don't bring it out.
We've been lagging on the tequila side.
Not my deal. It's his. He forgets it.
Anyways.
I mean, I could bring out my drink, but that's just an energy drink.
We'll do it on the next one. So how's everything going?
Everything's good.
Tennessee's hot?
Hot right now with elections.
It's hot. Temperature, election-wise. We voted. Just got back from voting, actually, with Mackenzie. That was an easy one, right, for y'all?
It was very easy. Not that many things to vote on.
Checking right through.
Yeah.
Hopefully this red wave they're saying is coming. I'm not putting any money on anything, but we'll see what happens, you know?
I'm not going to say anything because I don't know.
Yeah. And
a lot of talk.
It's hot, but the bottom's going to drop out, as they call it. Friday,
it's not
Saturday?
but it's not overly hot. Like, it's nice. But
It's
I'd
70.
also think at this time of the year, going into November,
70's hot.
it probably shouldn't be 70 degrees.
No.
But it's fabulous outside.
Yeah, it feels great. I'm not complaining, but we're soaking it all in.
And don't worry, we'll get cold weather, and then we'll be complaining in, a few weeks. It's too cold. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Then we'll look
no-win
forward
situation.
to spring, and spring will bring greenery and warmth, and then we'll be excited. And then summer will get hot and humid, and then we'll be like, we
Ready
really
for
want
winter.
cold, and we'll be
Fall
excited.
is like a rough season. I like fall, but I also don't like when all the trees lose their leaves.
It looks so weird out there now.
It's just like sticks everywhere.
And the grass doesn't know what to do. It's growing like crazy right now. Bugs have no idea what to do because they're like,
Well,
should we
and
come
this
back
week
out?
it's going to grow really good because it's nice. We got a little bit of rain.
We're supposed to get a lot of rain Friday too, I think, from this hurricane.
So
that's
then
coming.
now it's warm. So our grass is like, are we dying? Are we growing? Like, what's up from down?
So confused right now.
It's okay.
Just like this country is. But anyways, so I thought Babs doesn't know about today's topic. This is one that I've been watching. And so do you know who DC Drano is on Instagram?
You've talked about him
Rogan.
before. Yeah.
Conservative one of those conservative influencers.
You've talked about him. But I mean, I personally don't know
So he has a
him.
post that got people all riled up. Controversy.
That good old Instagram or Twitter. It's great
we
for
love
this.
this social media warriors. So it says, attention, Tennesseans and all country music fans. So that's used loosely now, country music fans, because a historic home once owned by Hank Williams Sr. was recently purchased by a Californian who promised not to demolish the historic home from the Civil War era. Turns out he lied and started demolishing it behind people's backs.
Okay,
Please show your support for Tennessee country music history and follow Lovely Franklin, Tennessee for more info on how to stop this destruction. Don't California the South.
I'm pretty sure the South is doing a really good job at California in their own place.
That's
just saying.
That's interesting you say that because we're going to dive into this one a little bit, right? Because it's very easy to point the finger at a Californian or something.
They're
just
very good
of the
at
label.
that.
The label of California. You're from California, so we gotta label you. We gotta.
But 90% of the California people that have moved here that we know don't want what happened in California to happen here.
Yeah, but that's people we know too. I mean, that's not to say that people aren't. And this is in Franklin, like.
Well, I don't know people in Franklin.
Yeah, this is like hoity-toity mini California over there, anyways. So they're
they're kind of on their
people-
own island.
So let's go back, okay? So this property it's a huge property, okay? It's like 700 acres.
Oh, geez.
This whole property, right? It's got a few caretaker houses, some main houses, a 12-stall barn, and other horse facilities. It's beautiful as much as it is historic, right?
Okay.
So it does have like one of those history markers by it. It's not preserved. It's not protected
By the state.
by like any type of historical thing. And it's across multiple parcels.
Well, 700 acres would have to be across a lot of parcels.
And so this large parcel, it's like 400 acres, was known as the Antebellum Plantation. And that was the area that was previously owned by country music legend Hank Williams.
Okay.
Now, the uproar of people on social media, which I guarantee you they consider Florida Georgia Line country music, which is in a complete different ballpark from Hank Williams, and they probably couldn't even name 3 of Hank Williams' songs, is going to be my guess.
Hank Williams is old school country, just so y'all know.
Yeah, like Hank Williams is like twangy country music. Like,
it's like, what's his name?
It's stuff that like your dad...
My dad listens
like
to.
loves, which I listen to Hank Williams, like Merle Haggard. Like, you're getting all...
Of Willie Nelson.
You're all getting into that, like, that air. Like, you have Cheatin' Heart.
Yeah.
Are You Lonesome Tonight? Lovesick Blues by Yodel Kid. Like, that's a song... That's how that song recently became popular, was Little Yodel Boy. I don't even remember his name. Mason Ramsey? That kid. So, yeah. So, the people that are in uproar are the people that probably think Florida Georgia Line is country music, and it's hilarious. But
well, it's like saying Hunter Hayes is country.
So, the property was purchased in 2001 for $8.7 million.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what this house looks like, so I can't be biased, or property looks like.
Who do you think bought this house?
Is it a country music star?
Yes. Actually, it's a power couple.
Oh, so that's going to be Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Look at you. And you don't know anything about this.
Because, I mean, there's not very many country couples. Like, Miranda and Blake went their own ways. So
since all this has gone on, since Hank Williams has owned the property and it's exchanged hands and everything, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill have owned this property.
So they still own it, I'm assuming.
Funny, because they don't.
Oh, so they sold it.
They actually listed it for $20 million.
Holy moly.
And sold it to a Tennessee investment firm for $15 million.
Oh, so they knew what they were doing.
So let's go back now. So this historic country home that everyone is in uproar about has since been owned by one of the biggest power couples in country music, which Tim McGraw is not like conservative country. Like, once you get into all these like musicians and their backgrounds,
just because he plays in 1883 does not mean he's
it's just hilarious. Like Eric Church, like all like. They're not like conservative, fight for your rights, Second Amendment people at all.
Save
like,
your hometown.
No. So let's back up. So no one in Hank Williams' family cared enough about this property to save this property and keep the property in the family.
Okay, so
they didn't want to make it a family tradition.
So they sold it and they made a buck or two.
That one went right over Babs' head. That was Hank Williams Jr. Family tradition. So nobody wanted to do it, right? So obviously the family, the kids, somebody wanted to make a few bucks.
Or two.
And sell the property, which is what you're seeing all over Tennessee and the South, is these historic family farms and just that have been around for generations, and these kids that don't want to farm.
Because nowadays kids are lazy and don't want to work.
They
rather make a few bucks.
They'd rather cash out
and then instead of take care of the property.
So same thing. So it's not in the family anymore. So the family doesn't care about it, obviously.
Clearly.
So it's not that big of a deal. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, two of the biggest country stars, you think
would care about
country music history.
If it's really...
And preserve it, right? If it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But they don't. They've got their beautiful house in the Bahamas. If you haven't seen this property that they freaking built and have, wow. So they sold for $15 million.
To an investment firm, just so y'all know.
To an investment firm. So the investors include Columbia Mayor Chaz Mulder. So Columbia is just south of Franklin. So the mayor of an area in the area understands the history of it, the country, like all that.
Well, I mean, he should if he's a mayor.
He should.
But, who
Real
knows?
estate broker Dan McEwen and Pinnacle Asset Management founding partner and managing director Brock Kidd.
Don't know who those people are, but okay.
So they are the ones that purchased this from
So
McGraw
there's three of them that went in and purchased this land? Yep. Okay.
And they said there aren't many farms like this left in Franklin, and we are thrilled to now own it. We plan to keep an eye towards conservation as we develop our plans for the property.
No, they don't really care.
So the property also includes like the HGW Mayberry House, also known as Beechwood Hall, which is where Hank Williams lived, from what I found.
Okay.
could find out. And it was like, I mean, it was plantation with slaves and everything, like built in 1856, 7,000, almost 7,000 square foot home, listed in the National Register of Historic Places. So yeah, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill said they found this to be their dream home, but they sold it to this investment group. And this was a couple years ago.
Well, because they took that money and they built their dream home in the Bahamas, just so y'all know.
Right. So they love the peace and quiet that it provided for them in the large expanse of land. Well, they don't care about expansive land anymore, obviously, if they're in the Bahamas. So...
No.
Clearly, Hank Jr. and the rest of the family, like one of the grandsons or someone did like an album there and everything. Like, so, I mean, there's meaning there, but...
Sounds like a lot of meaning.
Obviously, they don't care about it enough to save it. So this investment group has turned around and sold it now. And this guy from California happens to have bought it, I guess.
Okay.
So my question is, what happened to the investment group protecting it and conserving this? Because there's not that many types of farms around.
Well, probably because they made a good chunk of money from this guy from California. And money talks a lot.
And the past 2 years have been very good in real estate.
Very good. And the bottom might drop out. So they probably were like, we should sell it before we lose our butts.
So it was interesting that the same account, DC Drano, and all these other conservative influencers, as we'll call them, they get you so fired up about freedom and rights and, you know, Biden's trying to take this away and the Democrats this, and everyone's trying to strip us of our freedoms and rights. But now, because someone legally purchased a home, you're mad about it and you want to stop the purchase of the home.
There's a lot of other things we probably should be worried about besides stopping the purchase of a home.
Right. So, and these are the same groups that are like freaking out about BlackRock, like owning 1 in 7 homes in Arkansas or something. Like, so you're worried about purchasing of homes, but yet you're fighting to keep freedom and the rights and everything, like to be, you know, that freedom of purchasing a home where you want. I mean, we allow outside people, like China owns a crazy amount of property. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. You should be an American. Like, you should have to be an American to own American property. It's a weird concept, I know, but that's what I believe, and a lot of other people believe too.
But DC Drano is behind a computer, so he can talk the talk, but does he really walk the walk?
Why didn't he invest in it if it's such a big deal? I mean, he's down there in Florida, and he's such a big country guy.
He didn't give to, I don't know.
Like, he should have bought it. Like, so, and that's the other thing of it. So if I were to go buy Katy Perry's house, let's say, like I had $10 million and I was going to go buy a previous property that Katy Perry owned.
I feel like if I own the property and I purchased it, I can do whatever I would like to it.
I really don't care what Katy Perry did to the house or what Katy Perry's property was. If I like the outline of the property or the house or the shell or whatever, I'm going to buy the property. I'm going to do what I want to the property. Now, on the other side, there's going to be all these, what is Katy fans, like Katy cats or something?
Yeah,
they're going to go in an uproar and get all crazy because somebody bought it and didn't preserve it like Katy had it, right? Probably. I don't care about Katy. This California guy probably doesn't care about country music.
Probably not.
Most people don't care about that older country music anyways. Now, if I were to buy this property,
I would probably preserve it.
I would have preserved it personally, yes. Because I think that's cool. Like, if you see, like, the vlog...
The history of it.
The vlog I've got coming out tomorrow is in Jonesboro, the oldest town in Tennessee. There's history that's preserved, and it's really cool. I like that. There's people that don't care about history. Like, we're erasing it daily. Like, there are people that don't care who Hank Williams is. There are people that don't care about country music. There are people that don't care about preserving that thing. And it's so funny that these people are getting so riled up, like, over this little thing that's happening. Like you said, there are so much bigger things to worry about in Tennessee right now.
He's not a Tennessee resident, so why does he care?
Well, because it's destroying the South. It's Californicating the South, I guess.
Well, he lives in Florida, so why don't you worry about what's going on in Florida and let Tennessee residents worry about what's going on here? You don't live here.
I don't know. But it's just, they're the same ones that stoke the fire of we're going to run out of diesel in 25 days.
They just like to get everyone in a tizzy.
It's whatever the weekly thing is that they can get clicks on and get engagement on. Like
the black square that no one worries about anymore.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. But like the diesel thing that was 25 days and it's like, no, like we're down to supply of 25 days. Like normally this nation operates on like 35, 40 days of supply before the pandemic. Now we're down to 25. So it's not like we have 25 days left of diesel and then we're going to run out. That's what the refineries can push out is 25 days worth down the road. Which makes sense. And we're behind and we need to get caught up. So
that's why diesel prices are outrageous.
All this stuff gets twisted and just these little fires that they're the minions of the accounts just get so fired up over. And it's like your energy could be spent elsewhere and be so much more beneficial.
But instead of getting so like frustrated over something, why don't you research it for yourself to actually find out what is true or not true? You can't believe the first thing on the internet because it's not going to do you any good.
But it came from
I don't care who it came from. Could have came from Joe Schmo. Research it before you believe it. I could tell you Matt smells. You might want to do your research. He really doesn't smell. But you're going to believe it because I said it.
Anyways, that got uncomfortable. Don't start making a meme now and spreading a meme because people are going to spread a meme and we all know memes are true. So.
No, none of it's true.
But anyway, so that's your fun controversy in Tennessee right now.
That's as bad as the news.
I wonder if it's the guy that won the Powerball because the Powerball finally got revealed today that it was a Californian, one person.
Well, that's probably why he bought the land.
I mean, why not?
I mean, I don't know. If I won that much money, I'd probably buy something too.
And then you got the people that were like, oh yeah, they say it's 1.6, but you're really only getting $800 million. Like,
well, you could do a lot with $800 million.
You know how much damage we could do with $800 million?
People, just be
You know how much damage I could do with $100 million? Like,
you know, if you worried about yourself and your family and your state or city that you lived in,
that's the biggest one.
Things would probably be so much better for you.
The outrage over this, like, versus just having outrage within your own community of, like, you know, your kids being masked up at school or, you know, you being forced to take a shot and be fired from your job. Like, it's so funny, like, the things that people will bend over backwards for and just accept versus the things that, like, socially get pushed up the ladder.
There's so many things in our little, like, community we live in that make me more frustrated than this on the internet.
Like people burning dogs in barrels that we found out.
My neighbor frustrates me more than anyone, but that's a different story.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's a fun one. You might want to stop playing Tim McGraw and Faith Hill music if you really, really want to stick it to them. Because that's who you should be mad at. Or you should find out the mayor of Columbia.
Or the last person that purchased it that said he was going to preserve it.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. But that is it. TennesseeTuesdays.com, as well as all the social handles at Tennessee Tuesdays. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting and reviewing, and we appreciate y'all.
Have a wonderful Tuesday evening.
Go vote if you hadn't. I don't know if you're on the West Coast, you still go vote. Make sure you do it.
You got plenty of time to vote.
Plenty of time.
If you don't vote, you cannot be frustrated when things don't go the way you want them to go.
Oh, but you can.
No, you can't.
Except from East Tennessee, y'all.